who's live in the Kiwi studio, the album called When Things Fall Apart. No, When Things Fall Apart and Into Place. Indeed, they do.
They do.
Sometimes.
Where's the title come from?
Life,
Okay.
in general.
No single event.
No, not a single event. A particular period of my life.
Right, okay.
Where everything did do that.
Sometimes.
Fell apart and then kind of,
Is
things
this
worked out for
with
the
the
better.
drummer?
Yeah, kind of. He was, that was definitely involved.
Let's not talk about the
in that
drummer,
period.
because husbands.
So then I met my husband. So, it's sort of...
That fell
it is
into
that
place,
period, exactly. So it is kind of that period of everything kind of going a bit...
You don't want people talking about their exes.
It's
On the-
fairly
on the
personal,
lines.
so where's that wine?
It's just coming up.
I find sometimes things fall into place, then fall apart.
Yeah, it does happen the other way around too, you're right.
Yeah.
Everything seems really great and then...
I think this is about fall into place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so what do we got, Mr. Jackson Bryant? Unscrewed.co.nz.
We've got Selaks Heritage Reserve 2010 Sauvignon Blanc Pinot Gris. This is one of those wines that just irritates me before I've even unscrewed it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a blend and they don't normally blend these, right?
Yeah.
And it feels just like we've got a surplus. Let's mix it all together and
see what happens.
See what happens and get rid of the excess juice. Should be sweet.
But there must be a reason why the winemaker would do
Well,
that.
Sauvignon is historically and naturally quite acidic, and Pinot Gris, the way that we grow it right now, although we are getting much better at it because we start to understand the grape, is kind of a lot more flabby, sweet. And so if you put the two together, you do make sometimes quite an attractive wine.
Yeah.
But there are reasons why they haven't been put together before.
Okay.
In France, because they're not too far apart. You've got Alsace, and then you've obviously got the Loire and Bordeaux.
Yeah.
And so they could have planted Sauvignon in Alsace. And they chose not to blend them. And I'm not against blended whites, because, I mean, they do it in France, and we do it here successfully as well. It's just that these two grapes, it just seems like it's... I'm going to get off my soapbox shortly. An excuse to get rid of some excess juice.
Right.
Rather than a kind of real direction the industry is going to take and follow through on.
But have they bottled it as a premium?
It's a heritage, and it's called reserve. Historically, reserve has always been that you keep some wine in reserve for a rainy day in case your crop fails.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, and now we've tended to kind of overuse that to mean premium.
Yeah.
So right now, I know this wine's not going very well right now, but we haven't even unscrewed it. So
Yeah, we don't even know.
You're giving it a bad rap. It might be
I know.
amazing.
Do you know what? And I'm quite willing to give it the good raps if it's good.
Man, you're like judging a book by its cover right now.
Oh, don't we do that?
Can I read you the wine notes here?
Oh, please.
This is the official wine notes from Selaks. Is it Selaks? Selaks. This rich, elegant wine is a classic Marlborough Pinot Gris, exhibiting the delicate pear and quince flavours with hints of spice characteristic of the varietal. But of course, it didn't mention the
Sauvignon Blanc. Because it's a Sauvignon Blanc.
I know. Sorry, that's the notes for the Pinot Gris. I've been sent the wrong notes.
This is a Sauvignon Blanc dominant with a bit of Pinot Gris,
Yeah.
and if it's over 15% Pinot Gris added, then you have to label it. But so there are quite a few wines out there which are kind of 86% Sauvignon Blanc with Pinot Gris or something else thrown in.
Oh, right. And they don't
have to label it. But
Oh, that's interesting.
yeah, just funny labelling laws. It's just like alcohol percentage. Europe and Australia, you've got to be within 0.5% alcohol by volume. Here, if it's just staying in the domestic market, 1.5%.
The chief winemaker, Brett Fullerton, he said this range sits between our winemaker's favourite selection at the top end and our premium selection of everyday wine. So it's meant to sit in there in between.
I really like the label. And I like the look of it. I like the history behind Selaks. So it's quite an attractive proposition to me.
Yep.
Except I just don't like the blend, but I haven't tasted it.
Nice fragrance already in the studio.
It's quite perfume. You do get that peach. I get white peach, and I get a bit of that kind of quince that they were talking about for the Pinot Gris. I get that, plus I get...
Bit of nashi?
Nashi pear.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice that we're drinking out of flutes as well to celebrate the Rugby World Cup, right?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Must be the only raising of the glass to the Rugby World Cup you're going to do.
This, yeah. Mm.
See, I don't mind that because I like Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Gris, and it's a bit like that. It's like starts off as a Pinot Gris and then it's like a Vegemite chip sandwich, you know. You've got two good things in one.
It's a wine of two halves, though.
You can taste both of the things.
Yeah.
Like
And
it's
really
not
it should-
blended very well, but it's like,
Really, it should
You
be
can taste both.
harmonious and balanced. I get the distinct character of one wine and then another
Yeah.
wine.
they're both. It's like they're sitting next
Yeah.
to each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect description.
It's like you could draw a line down straight
Yeah.
down through the middle. They're definitely grapefruity, obviously.
Yeah, you get
those
that kind of
characteristics
pithy kind of character in the mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a wine, if I didn't look and I was tasting it blind, I would be more Sauvignon, but possibly from Arbitrary or something like that, where you don't get the Wyrao passion fruit tropical flavours.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, at the end, you kind of get this grapefruity kind of, then tropical flavours, and so it feels a bit disjointed. But I'm not sure of the price point. I think it's kind of like below 15. It does represent pretty good value for money.
RRP $19.99, so it'll be about 15.
So $15. So you do get pretty good value for money. It's just that I don't like to see our industry. We're all about premium winemaking. Having said that, wine is.
But what do we do with that surplus? You know.
Yeah, well, we make it into some kind of fuel or something.
Stick it in your car.
Right.
I wouldn't want to stick this in my car though. I do enjoy
First
this.
car powered by wine.
This is nice. Just nice little afternoon out in the sun.
Do you know? I
Nice
imagine
little
this
breakfast wine.
scorching hot day, straight out of the fridge. I mean, this is kind of not out the fridge, so the characters will change as it gets colder. Scorching hot day, you come home and you want a thirst quencher. You crack this open, and you pour it in your glass, and you're immediately satisfied.
Yep.
It fills that gap, right?
Yep.
For that, I'm giving it 85 points,
Okay. Good-o.
which is pretty good.
What's that out of?
100.
Oh, good. Right.
Yeah, you start at 50 because anything below 50, well, you just
You're
can't
not
go
going
to.
to talk about.
No.
I give it 136 out of 150.
Ooh.
Beat that.
All right. Okay. Well, you've upped me. I'll see you and raise you 100. I'm giving it 185 out of 200.
Okay. Miss Little, any
I have
advances on that?
No, I think that's quite generous. I'd give it a 70-something.
Ooh.
That's a fair call as well.
75?
That's what I love about wine. It's so it's all
harsh,
about
though.
us, right?
Yeah.
So what I taste and what you taste are completely different, right? And your perspective and what you've tasted before in your childhood
That's the
all
thing.
influence it.
Yep.
And I think that's a fair call.
Because I would prefer one or the other. That's the thing. I would
Yeah.
prefer to have one or the other.
Yeah.
Know what you're
Not
having.
both at the same time. It's nice. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, we've been tasting the Selaks Heritage Reserve Sauvignon Blanc Pinot Gris mix and mash. And it's been wonderful sharing the biggest day in New Zealand's history with the both of you.
With Miss Little and Whammo, I feel privileged. It will go down. I'm going to take some
Yeah.
photographs of the day and get into it.
Good-o. You can follow his adventures over at twitter.com/Jason. No, twitter.com /Jason_Bryant. You're on Twitter, Miss Little?
I am on Twitter, but the Facebook's the one, which is Miss Little Music. And the website that I have is misslittle.com.au.
Cool. And go get the album When Things Fall Apart and Into Place. It is out now.
I recommend it.
Yeah, very nice.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And unscrewed.co.nz is where you'll find this as a video once more. Thank you to the both of you.
Thank you.